It is the Riot Podcast. Welcome to Wednesday, February 16th. I like the format of asking you guys what your favorite part of the show is, although it does remind me of Dora the Explorer when you're a kid.
That's it?
Because at the end she would go, what was your favorite part of the trip? And then she'd pause.
Oh, and you could answer.
I'd like that too. I like that too.
I haven't seen Dora in so long that I can't even connect that.
What?
I haven't seen it in like years.
Oh, some things you never forget. Dora the Explorer asking your favorite part of the show.
It's my favorite because, not Dora the Explorer, but just the fact that, that leads to, in this, we talk about a Goofy movie.
Yeah.
And Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
So it seems like everything that was from childhood is... Oh, gosh, everything is coming back.
They did just make a Dora the Explorer movie I
don't think anybody saw that one.
No, I don't think. I think it's on Paramount Plus if anybody's interested.
If anybody wants to watch
it. I have not seen it, but I wonder if she asked that at the end. Also, it's funny that before we get to the other stuff, that I remember Dora the Explorer asking your favorite part of the show. Don't remember any Spanish. It did not teach me that.
Oh, it didn't teach you any of it?
I was thinking all the Schoolhouse Rock songs I remember, like stuff like that, all these old things that you remember part of it, but not the educational part. It didn't actually teach me stuff.
Did Dora actually say, did she speak in Spanish during the show?
Yeah, that's the whole point of the show.
I didn't know. I don't remember
maybe
that.
I do remember some Spanish if you quizzed me.
I don't know. I don't remember her, was she just red, rojo? Is that what she did or what?
Yeah,
she did. That must have been where you learned it.
That's the only thing I know. Oddly enough.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, send him to Mexico and he can only do red.
Just have red.
That's
red.
all he's got. Well, there is other stuff in the podcast besides just talking about more shows being remade from our childhood.
Yeah. So wait, what was your favorite part of the show, guys?
See, one of my favorite parts of the show wasn't even particular segment. It was just a statement that Hudson continually made. I just loved hearing Hudson just say goth over and over. That was my favorite part of the show.
Because it's so not him.
It was just so not him, and it just every time it made me I kind of cringe a little. I couldn't tell what was happening. Because I didn't understand. You were just if you're a goth, that was just my favorite part of the show. Was you saying that over and over?
I like that too.
I would agree because we talked about Pinterest and a few others were joining together to show you what would be the trends for your look for this year. And goth is back and rhinestones.
Yep.
So being more flashy goth. And that is.
I don't think they were combined, were they?
Yeah, you could.
Just combine them all.
Absolutely.
I think that I don't think those two go together. Though.
Rhinestones are never just alone. They enhance whatever look you're going with. But basically, everything we'll talk about on the current trends for this year, none of us wear. So don't worry about it.
No, that does not fit us. We're not on trend.
We're not that style.
Yeah. Another one of the things that I thought was just a funny story was the man who was subtracting from his wife every single time that she yelled at him. I feel like that's a good goal that everyone should do.
Oh.
If you're going to yell at me, then every time I take something
$1,
away, you're losing privileges.
Oh, so you don't have a swear jar? You have a fight jar or something?
Yes.
You know what? I've heard that the best way to teach is not by punishing, but by what is it
Taking
withholding?
away.
Yeah, taking
so take away the
Losing
money.
privileges.
So maybe that's right. Maybe he would teach. Maybe he did teach his fiance something, but it's only if he showed her that before and then did it anyway, and then she still yelled at him. She must not have cared about Valentine's Day, I guess.
We didn't actually say this, but towards the end of the story, he said it's much more lighthearted than people think. With making that TikTok and that trend with it, people got a little mad, but really their relationship, it's not as serious as he was making it out to be with the yelling and the, fighting and stuff each day. He was just kind of having fun with it.
Oh, of course.
Man,
I mean,
you can't believe
average,
anything on TikTok.
You got to think on average, though. I mean, you're going to get yelled at least once a day, wouldn't you say?
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
In a relationship?
Yeah, you'll get yelled at least once a day.
No.
For doing something stupid, saying something dumb in a jokey way.
Okay, yelling and fighting is different
so
as
it
a couple.
depends.
So it depends on if you're just hey, if I yelled and said, don't do that, does that count as the yelling of the day?
It counts for sure.
But what if I said, don't jump off the cliff? Am I yelling?
I don't know.
I'm thinking more of a you're I would count anytime it's you're embarrassing me thing or you're annoying or something like that.
Or just not doing the dishes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime that you get yelled at where it's they're you're annoying them, I think that counts.
That'd be a crazy move for her to yell at him to not kill himself, and
Well,
He's like, well, there goes
that
the
was the
dollar.
drastic right there. Okay, but then you get.
It's almost like he would be going to the edge of a cliff just so that he didn't have to buy her a Valentine's Day gift.
I think there's a lot to that relationship. We're not in it, so we don't know all the details. But when someone tries to make a TikTok go viral, things can be more dramatic than maybe they really are in life.
And people will embrace the controversy if it means a few likes.
That is for sure. Well, enjoy the rest of the podcast today. And definitely don't forget to text in and say hi at 877-2-RADIO-U if you want to be a part of the podcast tomorrow.
And we will catch you next time.
Have a good day.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Are you a big board game player?
No, not too much.
No?
I got into the Ticket to Ride
Yeah.
a long time ago, and then I played the app. So that was about it.
That's it? That's your board game
Some
experience?
Monopoly every once in a while.
Yeah, of course.
And I think even growing up, I wasn't too much into it.
Not a board game fan.
Nope.
Well, how do you...
Bored of board games.
Now, how do you feel about...
Listen, the joke doesn't have to be good, all right?
No, it doesn't always. Sometimes we're just filling time.
Yes, right.
How do you feel about a Goofy movie? Did you watch that growing up?
Yeah, I remember a Goofy movie
Yeah,
growing up.
you do?
I do, because
Yes.
didn't he go to college or something?
Oh, that's
or...
an extremely Goofy
Oh,
movie.
is that one?
Yeah. Yes. That one is where that's Max, Goofy's son. So in the first movie, the Goofy movie, is where he's doing the cross-country road trip with his dad.
I must have seen it, but I'm going to confuse the two.
With his dad, who is Goofy.
Yeah.
And, it's all about how Goofy doesn't want to see his son grow up, is not understanding that Max is growing up, but Max is just doing this to go to a concert and try to impress a girl, of course.
Of course.
And he's just
a tale as old as time.
So over Goofy being his dad, even though, man, it actually is very emotionally troubling to me watching that movie still now.
It is?
I feel bad for Goofy. I feel bad for everybody. I really do. But they really make Goofy very sad in the movie. And then I'm glad I'm just laying this all out for everyone. Extremely Goofy movie. What you were talking about, that's the one where Max goes to college and competes in an X Games style event.
I remember watching that one all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Okay. So we were talking about board games?
Yeah.
Talking about a Goofy movie?
Sure.
Because they're making a Goofy movie board game.
Aww.
Officially licensed.
Wow.
I saw
Way
some
to
people
really be on time.
get excited about this. Oh, I think it's on time. I think...
it's nostalgic.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That people like you and me that grew up watching the Goofy movie and also happen to be into board games are going to go wild for this. You might not think the Venn diagram of those people is... those subjects are very big, but... It's big enough that I saw people getting excited about this yesterday.
I feel you have a movie and board game night. So you watch the Goofy movie while playing the Goofy movie board game.
Of course. Yes, you're 100% on that.
And you make Goofy snacks. And everybody comes over.
You know what? In the extremely Goofy movie, I think it is, there's the Pauly Shore character.
Yeah.
And remember he makes the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Cheesa. No, it's Cheesa.
Listen, it doesn't.
I saw that movie a lot of times.
It doesn't make us look good that we remember this.
Why? We watched Disney Channel a lot as children.
We did.
What's the big deal?
No, I think that's a good idea. I don't need it unless I have a group of friends that want to play it.
Yeah.
I need to have people committed
you need to find a group of friends that wants to play.
I just want to make sure they're committed and they're coming over and it's scheduled before anybody buys anything.
Yeah. You think we should do this as a show?
Oh, that might be fun.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's
we
a good idea.
We can do a sing-along with the songs and everything. Sing Eye to Eye.
I just want to check with Isaiah to see if he knows anything, because I don't want it just to be us two.
I know Isaiah loves board games, and something tells me he might be a Goofy movie fan as well. It's coming to stores near you. It says talk to your local game shop.
Oh, I can't. I can't talk to stores.
I don't have a local game shop. I think his parents have the toy stores. I think they sell a lot of board games. So
it'll be mid this year, though. So give it some time.
Yeah.
It's not anything out yet right now.
But mark it down. Maybe add it to your Christmas list. How about that? And then you can have a family game night on Christmas.
A goofy
movie game night. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. RadioU.
it's tough being a parent, right?
I guess, sure.
In fact,
Mom, are you listening?
Yeah.
Hudson's mom,
Nikki,
are you listening? Were we tough?
Oh yeah, my mom is definitely. She's saying yeah.
She's saying yes on
She's
that one.
saying yeah. New CBS News poll finds that nearly half of parents report feeling exhausted or frustrated. That seems low. Mm-hmm. I think I would have expected almost 100%. But nevertheless, even for those half of parents, they're feeling very exhausted and frustrated. And so that has led them to finding different ways of trying to express their frustration and their exhaustion and trying to let it all out.
Yeah.
So
Is there a healthy way to get rid of your stress like that?
I'm sure there is. I'm not sure this is it. I mean, this isn't hurting anybody. It is a new thing called Mom Scream events.
Scream?
Mom Scream.
So, or is it like ice cream, but we all scream? What are we doing with it?
So this was...
Are we eating ice cream together?
And it's nothing to do with ice cream.
No, okay. What is it?
So it is a bunch of moms that gathered together. This is in New Jersey, just outside of New York City.
Yeah.
They gathered together in a park.
Yeah.
And counted down. They just all screamed.
Oh, they scream out loud?
Yeah,
Oh,
like as loud as they can.
Oh, that's kind of depressing.
Isn't it?
Oh, that feels really bad.
It does, right?
Well, it feels like they must really be upset.
Yeah, I feel like they should seek therapy or something. You know,
I guess this is their
cheaper.
version.
It's
Yeah.
cheaper to just scream. But they say, yeah. I mean, some of the quotes from these ladies say they're having a tough time.
They're overwhelmed.
Yep. One mother says. This is actually really sad. I feel really guilty, and I don't know the right thing to do a lot of the time. So she went to the park and screamed with a bunch of other moms.
I feel like if you're going to do that, that's fine. Okay, that's a good, healthier way.
Yeah.
And a healthier outlet than you could have told me.
Yeah.
But,
and healthier than screaming at your kids.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
And wine.
Sure.
Like I think that mom is kind of always with wine.
Yeah.
But I just feel bad for you're trying to de-stress as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a parent. It's tough with your doggy, but that's like the top. That's about it. And you're going to the park because they're like, all right, for your mental health, you need the one walk a day.
Yep.
And you're going and you're just trying to stay stress-free.
Yeah.
But no one posted signs that it's the screaming day, and you're there and you just hear women screaming over there.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's going on out of context. You'd be really weirded out.
That would be frightening for sure. But the women, they'd have to be careful where they choose to, because if you go to a more secluded area and a bunch of people just hear women screaming from far away, they're like, what's going on? But if you do it in a really public area, then people are also going to be, then you're going to be freaking other people out either way. So I don't know. It's an interesting way to go about things. And I hope this isn't all they're doing. As far as if your husband, the woman's, you
don't need a man.
No, but the dad of the children or
Someone
whatever,
else is
and he is
helping.
you seem really stressed, honey.
Oh,
what are you doing are you doing something to try to work out all that stress? She's like, yes, I went to a scream event, and that's the only thing I did.
I'm here. I'm looking at the pictures.
Yeah, they're really into it too. They're putting their whole body into the scream. You see that one woman that's crouched over?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's okay. Oh yeah. I think she's all of them obviously have something going on.
Sure.
That woman with the red hat has something extra.
So I think we'll leave it at this. If you see a group of anybody at the park or anywhere screaming, I know your first instinct is to check to see if something's wrong.
Yeah, do you need help?
But maybe
and I guess they do.
Give them a moment.
Yeah.
And if they say, no, we're doing a screamathon or a scream out thing, just let them be.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they need help, but what can you do? You're going to babysit?
That might cause more stress.
Yeah.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on RadioU.
I've got here for both of you the list of what Pinterest predicts will be the hot new fashion trends in 2022.
Never thought you'd say that.
What do you mean?
Well, I just didn't know we were talking about trends like that.
Fashion trends.
Thought you guys might want to follow the trends, be fashionable.
You're right. We do typically follow trends in here, mainly fashion ones.
I just want to let you guys know, in case you didn't know this, for people in radio, we get so used to you hear us, but you never see us. I mean, you can watch our videos and stuff, but you're not It's not like other TV. We don't really care about what we wear.
I mean, I'm wearing slippers right now to work, so.
He's got his blanket.
I can't believe.
It is what it is.
I didn't know we were allowed to do that.
So if you think we're following any trends, not yet.
Actually, you know what? I see right here slippers. A new trend for
Hey.
2022.
I must have started it.
Yeah. So Pinterest predicts they use search data from 2021, and then they put out a list of what they think people are going to be going for in 2022 based off of that. So some of the things that they think are going to be big is a bit of a continuation of Y2K style, which is a lot of rhinestones and not just getting creative with where you put your rhinestones. Rhinestone, what do you call it when you get your fingernails done?
Manicure.
Manicure, rhinestone
Or like your
manicure.
acrylics, sure.
Yeah, you want to do that, Nikki?
I'll do that.
You want to do that, Isaiah?
I don't even know what rhinestones are.
What do you
if
mean?
I'm being
They're just like
honest.
little.
They look like diamonds, but they're not.
So little glittery
Little
things?
gems.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that, but I mean, somebody can.
Yeah.
You guys can.
What about rhinestones like on your the eyes?
Your eyes.
Yeah, like with
Basically-
your eyeshadow and stuff.
Are there any other trends? Can we get out of the rhinestone thing? It doesn't apply.
Hey, get used to it. It's a trend for 2022.
Yeesh.
And we're going to need you to stay on trend. Basically, they say like the euphoria kind of look.
Yeah.
So a lot of rhinestones and a lot of more like, you might wear.
Well, they say pedicures with rhinestones.
Yeah.
So rhinestones on your toes. Hey, all right.
Rhinestones everywhere.
Yeah, just entire body rhinestones.
Oh, okay. I kind of actually want that trend to take off here.
Yeah.
Nikki's like, I want to be able to utilize the rhinestones like this.
She always wearing open-toed shoes. Might
That's
as well
right.
make use of it.
We can do it.
Draw some attention to your feet. Why don't you?
What about the no? Actually, not going to. That's weird. I know there's feet people. That's weird. We're not doing that. What about the
Well, you can say that
clothes?
about any part of your body then.
Nope, it's especially weird when those
It is
requests
especially
come
weird.
in. What about like clothes itself? So not like accessories.
Yeah. Okay. So how about this? Goth is going to be in 2022.
Nice.
And we're not just talking like goth, like the typical goth that you would normally expect. We're talking
Goths
branching
with
out.
rhinestones?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, with rhinestones on top.
We're talking bringing goth into new places you wouldn't expect, like goth business casual.
Hey.
Now, what's that looking like? Business casual goth? I don't even know.
Like you wear a black suit and eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not in on that trend yet.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I really enjoy hearing you talk about fashion and
Yeah.
trends
I know.
and stuff. It really seems like you're connecting with this.
How about also goth pajamas? Who is that for?
Who's that for?
You need to wear the goth pajamas for yourself.
Yeah,
Yes.
but you can wear them into work or if you're
know-
still working from home.
Actually, you know what? It makes sense though, because if you're goth and like you really want to be goth, and there's no pajamas for you, and you have to wear something like fun or just a plain like flannel, whatever, you should be able to express your gothness,
Yeah.
even in the bedroom.
So what is that like? Just like black? Is
Yeah,
that what? Okay,
pretty
got
much.
it. Okay, with it. Go on.
And how about goth baby clothes?
Like,
Again.
are we supposed to fit in it or?
No, like for
No,
your
for the
if you
child.
have a baby,
I see.
You determine that
it's not
that-
enough
that
for
they
you
also,
to be a goth. You need to
Your
put that onto
child
your
as
child
well.
as well. Yeah. Again, if you were a goth, I mean, I guess in a way, you want your baby to choose whether it, in its own time, whether it becomes a goth or not. But in another way, it'd be really weird if you're all dressed super goth, you as a couple or whatever, and then the baby's just dressed normally.
Baby's
It's a
just
little-
wearing pink.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
Very brightly colored. Most baby clothes are very happy looking.
So if you don't want to do the goth thing, they say the other look that could be very popular this year is going way back farther to ancient Greece.
Ooh, you sound like you sound like you're into that.
So we're talking like a Corinthian sort of style, that sort of look for your house and your clothes and
Yeah.
your jewelry. So it's called Greek, sort of.
Greek chic.
That's right.
What is
And-
Pinterest looking at right now? Our trends. These are your options.
Yeah.
Rhinestones,
Yeah.
goth, or ancient Greece. Let's see
Yeah.
what we look like this year.
Rhinestones aren't sounding so bad when
Yeah,
you
all of a
continue down the
sudden-
list.
It's my top choice right now.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
Is it cold in here?
Yes, I think it is. Sometimes we say that, but then we look at the temperature and it's the same.
Yeah.
It's actually a couple degrees colder.
And
which
who
is
knew 2 degrees could
Would make
make
a
such a
difference?
difference? The 2 degrees is the difference between me being 100% comfortable and me putting on my leather jacket because I'm so cold.
I haven't seen this jacket before, or maybe I haven't noticed it.
It's always hanging on the back of this chair.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
It blended in.
All winter long. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, now you get to see it on me. How's it look?
It looks good.
Yeah.
Do you want me to should we try to warm it up in here, or what do you want us to do?
Yeah, I don't know. See, it wasn't cold for most of the show, but now we're here. Now at this time it is. So maybe it'll just go back to being warm enough in a few minutes.
We're still not convinced that our thermostat does anything if we touch it.
Yeah. Or that it's actually displaying the correct temperature at any time.
I don't know if it is or not. And especially if you go out to like our entryway area, it can sometimes just be colder out there.
Yeah.
So when people walk in and out of our studio, it brings the cold air with them.
Yeah. I don't know the explanation. All I know is I'm wearing a jacket in the studio, which I never do.
All you know is that 68 is too cold for you.
If that's really the temperature. So all of that being behind us. Did you watch the trailer last night for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers?
I did.
You
Isn't
did?
That so?
I did too. I didn't even wait till this morning. I saw it and I was like, what the heck is this?
I saw it trending and I was like, fine, I'll click on it. Another thing from your childhood that they're bringing back in some way.
Yeah, they're really focusing on 90s stuff. Now, were you a big fan? We already know you liked the Extremely Goofy movie.
We talked about that earlier.
But,
I remember Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah,
I do.
This is one, I remember it, but it's not one I watched. I just didn't care for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers as much. So I don't know a lot of what to expect with this. And you know what? Even if I did know a lot about Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, I don't think that would prepare me.
Please call them Chicken Dales.
Chicken Dale.
Please, someone do that collab.
Sounds good. Who wants a nice Chicken Dale?
Disney Plus announced it's a movie and it's coming out May 20th for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It's not a reboot, it's a comeback is what the tagline is. And it's like every old SNL person.
Yeah, so it's Andy Samberg is Dale. Don't ask me which one is Chip and which one is Dale. I can't tell the difference. But Andy Samberg is Dale. And you may remember that he did the Lonely Island stuff,
yes.
You know, like the music. He did other stuff on SNL too. But he's teaming up with the other guy from the Lonely Island, whose name is Akiva Schaffer, who will be directing and wrote it as well. So it's a Lonely Island Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers comeback.
Why not?
John Mulaney is Chip. Don't know if everybody still likes John Mulaney.
That is still being decided.
Yeah, right.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think the jury is deliberating on that one, but maybe this will go a long way to helping or hurting his cause.
So Andy Samberg is the other one?
And
he's Dale?
Yeah, he's Dale. And then you also have like guest stars. Seth Rogen is in it. J.K. Simmons. Keegan-Michael Key. There was Tim Robinson. I like Tim Robinson. So that another SNL guy. So it's just odd. You know what really bothers me, and I don't know if once you watch a whole movie with it being this way, you'll just get used to it. But it's a joke that one of Chip and Dale, whichever one is which, one of them is like computer animated, like CGI style.
Yeah.
And the other is like the old hand-drawn more style. So they're like doing all this stuff together. They're two different animation styles.
Well, if you watch the trailer, you'll see why.
Yeah.
But they said that
they explain it, but that doesn't mean that I'll be okay with seeing that for an entire I don't know. For a trailer, it's really jarring in a way.
It might change in the movie.
Right.
But they're basically saying, like, for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, that they had a TV show years ago, and they're now, one's just like a normal thing. And the other does the circuit for like old TV show people.
Yeah.
And they have to get back together because someone's missing.
Yeah.
And then they bring back whatever they were, the Rescue Rangers or whatever.
I didn't know this was coming out, but now seeing the trailer and seeing the people attached to it and seeing that it's Disney Plus, so I don't even have to go to theaters to watch it.
Yeah, high hopes.
100% I will watch it. Probably on the release weekend.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I was thinking about this, Isaiah and Nikki. that the Super Bowl just happened.
Yeah.
And the week leading up to the Super Bowl, there's all kinds of parties. Everybody descends, all the sports world and just a lot of celebrities too. They all show up at the Super Bowl over the course of that week, and they have a bunch of parties and whatever. And normally this year the Super Bowl is in Los Angeles, so already you have
a long trip for them.
yeah, right. Well,
Down the
already
road.
if you're in LA or you're in Super Bowl, you're at Super Bowl week. Either way, you'd have a chance of seeing a celebrity just out and about.
Sure.
Even more so when than it's LA and the Super Bowl combined. So I was thinking, first of all, would you guys, if you saw a celebrity you really liked, would you want to talk to them? Would you want to go up to them?
Or would you just look from a distance?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Scan from afar.
Yeah.
I think I would go, depending on who it was, I would go up and talk to them.
So who is somebody you would want to talk to?
See, for me, I think that it wouldn't be like, I don't think any famous actors or anything would really do it for me, but if it was any of my sports fans, like a player that I liked, like if it was like Baker Mayfield for the Browns or like Darius Garland for the Cavs, I would consider going up and talking to them. But if it was someone that was like fringe that really didn't mean that much to me, I would just let them continue on with their day.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that. You're like, don't worry, you don't mean much to me. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you're like a mid-tier, so if you were a little bit cooler, I would consider.
Would you go talk to them or would you go ask them to sign something? Because I think that's even the next step.
Just depends what I have with me. What
Or
do I have
ask him
on
for
me.
a picture?
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. It just depends. I
That
think
feels like a bad move.
Yeah,
to me,
asking for the pictures is so. I would rather just have a conversation than get the photo.
100%.
But if I do have something that I feel to get signed, I would consider. But yet again, I'm probably not going to have that on me, so I would probably just be a conversation.
Isn't someone like selling that block of cream cheese that the Bengals guy signed?
Oh, yeah,
For like $100,000 or something.
Wow.
Like if you're there in the moment and if you got something
You
signed,
just get anything signed.
could you get money out of it?
All I have is this jug of milk. Unfortunately, I just left the grocery. I didn't expect you to be here.
But I have a Sharpie. Will you sign it?
Nikki, would you go talk to anybody?
Just remember, I'm a anxious person,
Yeah.
and I don't.
So am I.
In person, I don't like to go out of the way and talk to someone if you don't have to.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would or not. I'm not sure I would.
In theory, like I can picture myself if I see somebody that I really, really like, I would want to go talk to them. But
See, I'd want a picture.
in practice, if it actually happened,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could bring myself to do it if I have the stomach to actually go up, even though. So here's the second part of my question, because 99.9% of people that go up to a celebrity, they're just forgotten. They just say, hey, I really liked you in that thing, or, whatever. They ask for an autograph or a picture or whatever, but the celebrity's not going to remember you 20 minutes from now. So I would want to, I guess that would be your fallback of, even if you make a fool of yourself, unless you make yourself such a fool,
they're
not going to
you.
remember you. It's not going to be like, for me, I don't know. I thought Aaron Rodgers, but I think more like Paul Rudd is the type of guy. I just like to talk to Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to talk to Paul Rudd.
But I think you'd go up to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think you would
would
too. I hope so. If you had the opportunity, you kick yourself for the rest of your life.
I'd have to go say something to him.
You
but
would.
I don't know if I'd want to talk to him as much. Maybe a few years ago.
He'd blow you off for
before
sure.
he started talking so much.
He'd blow you off.
But you saying talking, I think you're giving that a lot compared to just saying like, hi, like you a lot, and then that's it. Like
Yeah.
that's not having a huge conversation.
Yeah, I want to actually be. So what I want to know is, could you think of something for just pick maybe one celebrity that you really wanted to talk to? Could you think of something where you think you would actually make an impression on them, and maybe they'd be like, I actually want to talk to you more. Not like in the future, just like, where they would engage with you for more than 10 seconds.
And not remembering you because you were a fool.
Yeah, right.
Like an actual serious conversation
Yeah,
is what you're
what
looking
could
for.
you say to get a celebrity's attention in like 15 seconds? Your elevator pitch to a
I don't
celebrity
know
to
if
care about you.
For me, I wouldn't. I don't know if I could do anything to make them remember me. But if I were to approach like any of the celebrities, which I said, like any of my favorite players, which is who I would approach, I wouldn't, like, I don't know. I just think that you don't like act weird. Like acting weird, they're gonna like automatically want to back away. And like just normal social cues. Like if you can tell that they're uncomfortable, then like as you would anyone that you randomly approach, you probably should just leave them alone.
Yeah.
But I would say I would ask them, because in my mind, I would want to know like what has like been your favorite moment from like any of the games that I've watched you
Sure.
play in, because like in my mind I obviously have like favorite moments for like
Sure.
Baker and Garland and whatnot. But I'm like, what is your favorite moment? Just so I can just have something that I feel like I know that they haven't really said, you know. So but I don't know if that would make an impression for me, but that would be something that I would want to know.
You got anything, Nikki?
I think I'd still be too nervous.
No,
to
you
do
just-
He's like, I wouldn't even approach. I just couldn't do it.
You guys are like, I don't want a picture. Like, I only want a picture, and that's it.
Yes.
I mean, I guess the picture is it's a safe route to go.
It is. Photo, please.
Less conversation.
Yeah, man. I see. I came up with this question, but I don't know if I have a good answer. Like, I really would have to think about it and see. That's the problem. If it was, unless I do all this thinking now and then happen to run in to Paul Rudd,
You'll
or
forget
Bob
everything
Dylan or
you think
something.
about.
Yeah,
Completely
yeah.
clean slate in your mind. You'd go up, you'd be stuttering, you would embarrass yourself.
Right. I would not be prepared. I'd just be like, hey, Aaron, really like the Packers. And then,
love you.
you know, like,
I love you.
Paul, you're like, Paul, how you stay so young?
yeah, right.
What's your secret?
I really like it, man. Thank you.
Bye.
See, I know the thing I know is with actors, like if you do something lesser known, that might connect with them.
Yeah.
But then you have to know something lesser known. So that's like doing some research. But that's probably the best route to go with an actor. I don't know with anybody else, with a sports guy. But he like really liked you when you were in high school or something, like that lesser known play you did. Really good play.
And then you come off as weird.
Yep. And then you're a creep who's strange. So,
Either way, you're a creep.
Yep. I guess there's just it's never gonna happen, is it?
That's all right.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. The Riot, RadioU.
The United States in hockey this morning, men's hockey, the United States has been kicked out of the tournament. Well, that makes it sound like they lost.
There
They're
you
lost
go.
and they're done.
So now they can't get any medals?
They are out of the running for medals, even after finishing. So in hockey, there's like there's the group stage where every team plays against a couple other teams, gets seeded, and then it moves on to the playoff round. The United States was first place after the group stage, and then they just lost their first game of the playoff round, so they're done.
That was the last time I heard from it. So when I saw, I was like, I thought they meant, they didn't win gold.
Yeah.
But then Hudson was like, no, they're not even in that part yet.
No, this was the
Like, completely out.
quarterfinals. So the teams that win in today's round of games get to go on, and 3 out of 4 will win the medals. But the United States lost to the country of Slovakia. Yeah. So how do we feel?
I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be as disappointing if we weren't the 1 seed. I mean, whenever
Yeah,
you're the
right.
1 seed and you lose early on, it just is that much more stain in the wound, I feel like. So, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I haven't really been following them either. But at the same time, it does stink that they lost if they were
Yeah.
supposed to win.
Especially after they had got out to such a hot start. They beat Canada in hockey.
So is Canada out too?
Canada's still going.
Oh, they're still going?
Still going for the moment, anyways. We'll see how they do against Sweden.
So did they beat them in the seeding rounds, I assume?
Yeah,
then?
yep.
Got
They beat them
it.
in qualifying in that group stage, but then they could not get past Slovakia, who's not known, decent at hockey, not as good normally as the U.S. Now, some people are going to blame this. You would say, well, the NHL players, the most of the best in the world, they're not there. So the U.S. isn't fielding their best team. Neither is Slovakia. Slovakia's got all their best players in the NHL as well, so you can't really blame the United States' loss on not having NHL players. Although, if they did, they'd be much more likely to beat Slovakia. But I don't know. It's funny. So coming into the Olympics, I said this, that when the Olympics roll around, I usually will cheer for smaller countries because...
And you like to watch hockey.
I do like to watch hockey. I haven't watched a second of this Olympics, actually. But I like to cheer for, Uzbekistan. Because what else is Uzbekistan got to cheer for?
That's a place?
Yeah, it is. I think it is.
Is it
Maybe
for
it's
hockey?
been enveloped into Soviet Russia again. I don't know. But, I just like to cheer for the smaller countries. The United States, what do I care if we win at bobsleigh? What we've got enough stuff we're good at. Don't
It's
care
country
about
pride,
that.
You're supposed to cheer for the U.S. for everything.
No. I don't need us to be the best at bobsleigh. But for hockey's a little different. I actually like cheering for the U.S., especially against Canada.
Sure.
Because Canada's the big bad
Even though you're
Goliath.
from Canada.
Yeah, but I like to cheer for the United States. That's my country
What?
pride. So this is the one case where, if this was biathlon, I'd be like, yeah, Slovakia. But
Not in this
hockey, it
case.
doesn't feel quite
That
right.
is the weirdest cheering system of thoughts I have ever heard in my life.
What do you
That's just what he
mean?
does.
Interesting. So you're saying that, would you consider yourself a U.S. fan at the Olympics or no?
For hockey?
But everything else, you're just open. You're just an open
Yeah,
player.
I'll just cheer for whoever I
He's
like.
just filling in the cracks
Just
for the
because
smaller
Got it.
countries.
Just because somebody's from the United States doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean they deserve
To
cheers.
win.
Now, just because somebody's from Uzbekistan doesn't mean they deserve my cheers either. I don't
Just-
even know anything about it.
Well, just because somebody plays for the Packers doesn't mean they deserve your cheers either.
Yeah, that's-
Let's not bring that into it.
That's different. It's different.
Let's
It's
just
different.
focus on the fact that the Olympics are over on Sunday, all right?
Yeah.
Can we all just be thankful for that?
Yeah, it'll be over for everybody, not just the United States hockey team.
Exactly.
They'll all be done.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on Radio U.
What is this TikTok that you found, Nikki?
I actually thought it was kind of funny at first. And then when you get into it, you're like, oh, well, this might not be healthy.
Yeah. Oh, that's the impression I'm getting.
And initially when I saw it too, I was like, oh, is this like if you wanted to do, who's the finance guy? The Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey?
Like the cash envelope system.
Okay.
And then again, as I got into it, I was like, oh, no, it's not
This
bad.
is. I think even Dave Ramsey is like, please don't include me in this.
Please, I have nothing to do with this. This is not positive. But Isaac Ramirez has found some fame on TikTok leading up to Valentine's Day because he decided last year to set aside a certain amount of cash, and that was $360. Then throughout the year, he took money out if is it fiance or girlfriend?
Yeah, it says fiance, I think.
If his fiance yelled at him, then $1 was taken away. And through the TikTok, you'll see at the end that left him with $40 left out of the $360.
320 days she yelled at him.
At least once during the day.
Man, I wonder. And so, I mean, she probably didn't know about this.
I don't think she
But
did.
after that'd just make me, after I yelled once, then I'd just be like, well, the floodgates are open.
Now
Yelling
you
at you all
ruined
day
it.
long. Yeah.
So people are kind of conflicted as to, is this showing red flags?
Who's in
and-
support of it?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, there's different types of yelling. Do you mean
Yeah.
like voice raised? Are you fighting? Because when I think yelling, I think fighting.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think it was quite
Or
that.
not even fighting, just like they're so upset with you that they're going to yell at you. It definitely, there's a lot of red flags along the way.
But then people were saying, well, what was he doing to have her so upset?
Well, that
so
doesn't
many
really
days?
matter. It doesn't really matter. Even if he is doing stupid stuff that he deserves to get, that is wrong, it doesn't mean that it's healthy for anybody for him to just sit there and continue to be yelled at and continue doing things.
Yeah, but okay,
like,
wait. What if no. Hang on. I don't know if I totally agree with that. I think it's a partnership to be angry at each other.
Yeah.
So, like, if he's constantly doing something, again, they're not telling how much is the yelling? Is it fighting? There's different levels to that.
But if she's so mad to yell at him all the time and it's not, and she did it 320 days and his behavior hasn't changed, that's not good for either of them. The yelling's not helping him, and he's not helping her by making her angry all the time.
And it doesn't say, I did not catch where the money went to, or did he just keep the rest of it?
He put the $320 in an envelope that says, treat yourself, King.
So at this point, she got flowers and chocolates. So he started with the $360 and then, yes, said that she yelled at him. And that ended up after taking $1 away each day with $40 left.
Can we also add in the idea that just the sheer fact that he's posting this on TikTok is a red flag there? That he's willing to shame his girlfriend, his fiance, on TikTok also shows another unhealthy tendency in the relationship.
It can be, unless it's more like lighthearted than we realize, and he's just making it more dramatic.
You think she yelled at him about this?
Probably.
Something tells me. Something tells me.
If I found out with that, then
Yeah.
you would just go ahead and throw away the last $40 for one big fight.
Yep. Oh, yeah. 100%.
So that was the new TikTok that was getting a lot of traction on him, who was deducting money every day that he got yelled at.
I get the maybe initial thought process, and even the, maybe as an experiment, maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, does she really yell at me? Or am I, maybe I'm being too hard. And then you start deducting the money. but then you just break up. You don't. You don't have the 20. You don't give her the $40 Valentine's gift.
They've not done that yet.
Or you have a tough conversation about it at least.
They're still together.
I bet you this led to one of those.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, Disney is in the news, like Disney World, the Disney parks.
Yeah.
Mostly because of stuff going on with their mask mandate stuff. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about another lesser publicized story that has Disney World involved as well. A story of two sisters who got into a drunken, naked brawl at Disney World.
So, well, if you look at it, though, I don't think it was at Disney World.
Yeah.
It was at Disney Springs.
They were in the Disney area of parks. They were trying to leave.
No, it's because
it all started at Disney World.
Disney Springs, where they were eating and where it actually happened, that's free to get in.
Yeah.
But if you're going to Disney World, that's when you're like, if this happened there, everybody around, I'd be asking for my free Disney day.
Yeah.
Because if these women
because it's supposed to be
it,
magical.
Sure.
And everything is supposed to be perfect. And,
so I was trying to look through it, but I don't think they were actually ever in Disney World.
I mean, they must have been there at some time, but it was actually just more of it took place on the Disney property, but not actually at the Disney theme park, one of the Disney theme parks.
That's where they were eating and the drinking started.
Yeah.
So that's where it was.
Well, it was a drunken brawl, so they had to start somewhere with the drinking.
Because you can't afford all that in actual Disney World.
No, definitely not. And you know what? Something tells me too, if you were at Disney World and you started to get, because you never hear stories like this. And what? You think people don't drink at Disney World? But I think that if it starts to get a little out of hand,
they get you out fast.
Disney, they're quick to get you out of there because they don't want anybody causing a scene at Disney World. So what happened was these two women doing food at a steakhouse at Disney Springs, and they wound up after that moving on to drinks at an Irish restaurant in the shopping and dining area there at Disney Springs. Eventually, it sounds like the drinking, got a little out of hand. The women needed to get back to their hotel, which was not on that property.
I love that they're like, it wasn't at Disney.
Right.
Like they weren't.
Disney's like, we wash our hands completely of this. Like we didn't overserve anybody.
It wasn't a Disney hotel.
But so they were leaving the Disney Springs area, but they couldn't drive. Even if they drove there, they couldn't drive. They had drunk too much. So drunk or drank. They had too much to drink. So they were trying to get a cab, but
Uber
also
refused.
along the way, their phone died. The taxi that came to pick them up refused because they were too drunk. And that's where, as they were kind of waiting, trying to figure out the next step, is where tensions started to rise. They'd been around each other long enough in a drunken state where words started to fly first, where one of the girls called the other a bad mom. And from that, it led to them actually brawling. What's crazy is, if you read on in the story, they were separated several times, but still found ways to run back to each other, to the point where one time one of them slipped in the other's vomit as they were running to each other.
It's even worse.
And along the fights, they wound up, their breasts were exposed. It's just a whole big ordeal.
Well, I've only seen
not what you expect at Disney World.
I've only seen strangers fight.
Yeah.
As far as I know, like if you've ever been around places, every so often you'll see a fight break out. But for sisters, I think like when you're family, you know how to really hurt.
Yeah, right.
You know how to push buttons.
A stranger calls you a bad mom. They don't even know if you have kids.
Doesn't matter.
But your sister calls you a bad mom. Them's fighting words.
Aw, well, it got out of hand.
Yeah.
I wonder. I just want to be there after when everybody sobers up and they say, "Oh, what happened? What did we do?" Yeah. I really want to be there when they show them the security footage and all that. They say that they've been arrested for domestic violence, disorderly intoxication, battery. They said, though, that the state attorney's office chose not to pursue criminal charges, though. And
that's something they just got to work out.
They asked for each other not to be prosecuted, so that's why they got away with it.
Everybody, between the two of them, they're each to blame in their own way. You know what I want to be present for is not talking to them after the fact. I want to be at like a restaurant where this breaks out and it breaks out, and then you have to continue working the rest of the day, or do you just get to go home? Because how do you continue on? How do you have a normal work day
After
a
all that?
drunken naked brawl breaks out on the property?
I do think that closing early could have been appropriate.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we should stage a drunken naked brawl here
Nope,
so we can
never
leave
mind.
early. You think?
I think if you just ask if you want a few hours,
Yeah.
let's not go all that whole way.
Go to extremes.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.